Alright, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition, or should I say a new edition of Intunes in the Know. If you guys have recently, I don't know, was on the internet and you typed in comic books, how much are they worth? And you saw that an article that said somebody that made $1 million off of selling their comic books. Well, I'm going to help you, probably not help you sell your comic books, but to give you some tips and pointers to how to keep them in the condition that most people are going to want them. So just stick around and stay tuned. So we have three things that we're going to go over. We're going to talk about what you need to get, how much they cost, and yada yada. So our first up is our bags and boards. Now they are fairly priced at about $7 to $10, so in total $17 plus whatever your taxes are wherever you live. Right now I have boxes, I have boards, and I have bags. Yes, it is open because I use them to put my comic books that I read inside of them. And they come in covers that might look like this. This is a comic book boards, and this is the comic book bags. This is the current size, so it ranges at 6 3/4 times 10's 1/2, and they come in various different sizes. You got the bigger bags, you got current bags. So there's silver and current. I like current because it keeps my comic books nice and tight and in to keep them airtight, and that's what I like about them. So pretty much self-explanatory. You take the board out the bag. You take the board, you get a bag, and boom, put in. This is already done and taken care of. I don't think I need to show you how to do that. Boom, boom, bop. Now I also use tape. Dollar Tree, wherever you can get your tape from. Now there are some bags that already have like this strip on it, so like if you ever have any like envelopes that you pull the little strip away and then you close it and then you're ready to send it off, some of them come like that. They cost a little bit more, not that much of a difference, but I like to use the tape. I like to use tape. Anyway, so yeah, I love to use that because it keeps them, like I said, nice and tight. I actually have comic book right here. So you have minimum showing of the top of the board, and then you have the comic book inside the board. It keeps it nice and tight. The comic book isn't able to just slide around from side to side. Probably up and down, but I'm not planning on having my comic book go upside down. But like I said, it keeps it nice and tight and inside. Now, like I said, if they roughly cost you from the comic book boards, both silver, which is bigger, and the current, which is just a little bit smaller, $10. The comic book bags, which is current and silver, again, will cost you about $7. And again, depending on where you actually live at, it might be a little bit more price difference from what I'm saying. But they keep your comic books pretty much in okay condition. Like I've gotten them as soon as I started collecting the issues, and I've got them in my boxes, and they keep them nice and tight depending on what kind of comic book you're reading. Especially the annuals, you might have to get like a more bigger, like the silver board and bag, because it needs more space because it's a special comic, so it has extra paper in it. But yeah, it's not going to really prevent water damage. But I mean, if you got a cup, you accidentally spill a cup, knock the cup over, it's not going to the comic book itself is not going to get wet. But if we're talking about like if you have your boxes downstairs in the basement and there's a flood, it's not going to really protect it as much as you would like. But these are a very nice investment to get. When I go to the comic book store, I normally pick up 2 packs of each. What comes inside is 100 Bam, says it right there, 100 in each pack. So, I mean, yeah. Or you can buy them individually. The comic book store I go to only charges about like $1. So whoever it is, wherever comic book store you go to, maybe they might sell it for $1, however much they're selling it. But altogether, these are great, especially if you're starting to collect comic books and you want to keep them in good condition, especially if you're planning on selling them in the near future. So I would invest in bags and boards. Alright, next up. Alright, let's say you got this figured out. You know what comic book you're planning on getting. So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, let's use them for example. You see this amazing cover art. The image on this cover looks awesome. Now, how can you tell whether it's the first cover art or the second cover art? Because sometimes you have the original and then you have a variant, or cover A, cover B. So where you can find that at is on the barcode. Now I'll have an image probably below me or around me somewhere where it shows you what you're exactly looking out for. So what was explained to me by my comic book store, because again, I was my first time ever learning how to figure this stuff out, he told me that the second number, the second to last number, so like the last two numbers at the end of the barcode above the bar, above the bar, I cracked myself up. Anyway, the second to last number is going to let you know whether it's the first cover or the second cover. Now, depending on which comic this is, some comics go up to 5, maybe 7 covers. So you want to be sure, okay, maybe the majority of the time it's the second or third cover that aren't that many copies of. So, best example is you have your 1-1. So if it's 11, if the last two numbers are 11, then that is the first cover art of the comic. If you see a comic on a barcode and it says 21, that means it is the second cover, and so on and so forth, 31, 41, 51, if it ever goes up to those. So that's how you can tell on whether or not that is the comic you want to get. Now, obviously, when you look at the comic book and you see it has the same title, it's the same issue number. For instance, let's go back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 27. So again, the barcode here is 1111. So this is the original cover art. Let's say there's a second cover art, and that one looks way 10 times better than the first cover art, and you want to pick that one up. That can also decide on whether or not your comic book is going to be worth any kind of value for when you plan on selling your comic book in the future. So that little tidbit I wanted to give you guys to help you figure out which one. Majority of the times, the second to third cover art is the rarest out of the original one, because the first one is always going to be like a quadrillion copies of it, and the second one, it could be probably like 200 copies or 300 copies, but it'll be less than the original cover art. So again, on the barcode, if it says 11, the last two numbers, if it's 11, that means it's the original cover art. If it says 21, that means it's the second cover art. And plus, hey, who wouldn't want to have two covers of an amazing comic book? Next up, now you want to put your comic books in a safe place. Now, if you are the type of person that packs their stuff down in the basement, just make sure that you check on it regularly. That way you don't have any surprising things happening to your comic books, such as maybe rats, bugs, your dog or your cat might be over there nibbling on your boxes, or anything that you storage. Now, I use comic book boxes because they look awesome and amazing. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you've seen my videos, you've seen that this box right here of Superman, and this awesome box of the Joker and Harley Quinn. And I have tons and tons of boxes that have different images, and I also have this box that's just plain white. Now these boxes, they come in at variant different prices, such as regular box. If it's a short box, meaning it's not a long box, it's going to cost you about $4.99. If it's a nice designed box, such as these that you see behind me, they have the images of Superman, the Joker, Harley Quinn, the champions down there from Marvel, it's going to cost you a little bit more. They range about $12.99. So however you want to, if you just want to just get a regular plain old box, the storage box, the comics in, it don't even have to be comic book boxes. It could be anything. You can use a file cabinet. There's some images that I've seen previously when I was recording how to get in the comic book world, which will probably be on a card around here somewhere, where some people actually storage their comic books inside of a file cabinet. Whatever way you can keep your comic books nice, clean, and undamaged is best. I get these because they look awesome and because they're easy to store, and I got them racked up. So definitely, if you're planning on collecting comic books and you want to make sure that they're nice, tight, and clean so that way you can sell them in the future, definitely make sure that you want to have some kind of place where you can store your comic books and keep them nice. So let's say you guys got all that stuff, right? You got the boards, you got the bags, you got the boxes, but you want to really show off your comic books, and you don't want to have that nice little plastically thing just showing off in the background like I have previously and still do. These guys right here. But let's say you want to showcase them, hang up your comic books without really having to mess up the bag because you're afraid that the plastic might eventually wear and tear. So you want to go to your local comic book store and see if they got one of these. Now this is a current comic book showcase where it's a hardcover that you put your comic book in, obviously, and it also comes with a hanger in the back. That way you can hang it up if you want to showcase it. So instead of going to like CGC or CBCS or whoever it is that you can get your comic books graded and have to spend all that money just to get a hard cover just to make your comic books look awesome and neat, why not just go to your local comic book store and ask to see if they got a showcase cover. Also, like I said, this is current. I like it nice and tight. They also have it in silver. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I recently had 4 comic books put in, and here it is. Nice, simple, and easy. And then in the back you have your little hook. That way you can hang it if you want to. And then it's still nice, shiny. It keeps the comic book intact. And there's barely any movement. A little slightly movement, but not as much as you would expect. This is going to cost you about $9.99. Again, depending on where you live, it might be cheaper, might be a little bit more expensive, but it is effective, and one of these days I might actually have it hanging up in the background. Pretty much wraps it up for this video. Just wanted to give you guys a couple of pointers on what you could use to protect and keep your comic books looking nice if you're planning on selling them in the near future. Also, I was planning on pricing my own comic books by using this nice, the Oversight comic book price guide. That way I don't have to send my comic books out to CGC or CBCS and get them priced and have to pay through all that other stuff, where I can do it on my own. It's simple. You just read what it says, what most people are looking for. Look at your comic books, be honest, be truthful about it, and you can price your own comic books. So let me know if that's something you guys would like to see me do on my channel down in the comment sections below. This is not the only thing I've done. I did a previous video of Intune's Hop-In issue 22 that should be up right before this video, and I might even put it right there as the next video to play, to go definitely check it out. It's not the only thing I do on this channel. I also do Kev's Weekly Pool, where I go to my comic book store. I show you what's new on the rack and what I take off the rack. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Kev, you've been you. by staying tuned.